A woman shared her first switch after marrying a narcissist. This man was not the way he was until she said I do. And this is just the beginning of their honeymoon, and she has started seeing the kind of person he is. So let's watch our video to the end, and I'll be back at the end of the video.
This is the first red flag that I got from my narcissistic ex-husband when we first got married. So if you've been following me for a while, or you know anything really about narcissists, is that they are master manipulators. So stuff like this that happened in our marriage, from literally the story that I'm about to tell that happened on our honeymoon, it didn't happen while we were dating. There was obviously little red flags here and there that I obviously completely ignored, or was just so like love bombed into not seeing them, that when stuff like this happened after we got married, after the paper was signed and everything, I was like, oh crap. So before there's any judgment about, you chose this, you chose to marry him, blah, you know, all those people that obviously know what they're talking about, remember that they're master manipulators and they can get anyone to do anything, basically. When we got married, there was a flip that was switched. Immediately when we got married, it's like he was like, okay, now you are trapped. Now I can do what I want. And this is the first thing that happened. So we were on our honeymoon. We went on a cruise for our honeymoon. And I had been on a couple cruises before. He had not. It was the day that we were getting off the boat because we landed in Mexico. So, okay, yeah, let's get off the boat. Let's go. Number one, we didn't have a good amount of time. Like, we didn't have all day. You know, if you've ever been on a cruise, you know that there's a certain time. And if you're not back on the boat at a certain point, then they will leave you. So he is like, I'm on vacation, I want to sleep in. That's fine, but at the same time, like, we're kind of on a schedule because we also had like a thing that we had to go do at a certain time. So I was already a little bit stressed out, and he did use sleep as control so much, where he would get so high, so drunk, that he would sleep until like 2 in the afternoon most days. And if I was like, hey, we have somewhere to be, it would immediately be a fight. That's how the day started, is that he was oversleeping, and he was already a little bit pissed off at me because I was reminding him that we had plans on our honeymoon. Once again, I can see all of the comments coming in of, oh, you were already nagging him on your honeymoon? No, I was just, you know, reminding him. So everything started before we even got off the boat. There's a certain way that you have to get off the boat. There's an intercom telling you how to do it. There's signs telling you where to go. There's people who have been on cruises before that could tell you how to do it. But you know what? I was like, he seems like he knows where he's going. Let's just follow him. I'm keeping my mouth shut, and I'm thinking, I know that we're going the wrong way. I know that we are. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him do what he wants to do. Because he was already mad at me for waking him up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him do his thing. After like 15 minutes of just wandering around, how do we get off this boat? Which, how? But anyway, I tell him, hey, I'm sorry, it's this way. Like, we've got to go this way. And he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I tell him, like, I've been on a cruise before. I'm listening to the intercom. I'm reading the signs. Like, I'm just trying to help us. I start walking this way, and I touch his arm, not grab his arm. In his version of the story, I grab his arm like this, and I'm like, come on. That's not how that happened. I grabbed, like this, my newlywed husband's arm on our honeymoon, and he reared his arm back, put his hand up at me, and said, I'm the man, you're the woman, you do what I say, I'm not listening to you. Great feeling on your honeymoon. So he stands there like that. I stand there looking at him, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? And no, he doesn't have the courage to hit me. But he does decide to not talk to me for a few hours, probably 3 to 4 hours of our honeymoon. We somehow find our way off the boat. Immediately, I need a drink. I need to go get a drink. I'm like, okay. So we go, and we literally just sit at this restaurant with him drinking beer for like another hour, and he's just not talking to me. So whenever he finally stops the silent treatment, he looks at me and goes, I had a feeling this is how it was gonna be, and I just need to let you know right now how this is gonna work. So I'm like, okay, here we go. What's about to be said? And he goes, well, The Bible does tell us that wives submit to their husbands. And I didn't see a good example of that today. You trying to lead us as if you were the husband off the boat when I clearly had it handled, that's not you submitting. So what we are gonna do is you're gonna submit to me and we're gonna do what I say. You can have your opinions, but final say is from me. Side note, yes, the Bible does say that. The Bible did not say that you can use that to control your wife. Because I can go on a rant about that all day. But he was using this completely out of context to completely control me. And you can see where that got him. A divorce. Just another little side note, any kind of negative comments, because I love them. I love to read them before I block them. So go ahead and comment them if you want, because I love when the men find my videos again and they're like, we know that you were doing something. I want to hear his side of the story. I want to... Go ahead and let us laugh at you. Looking back on that situation now, absolutely I should have been more aware and careful of situations that came up like this, because that was a mild one compared to what would happen to me in the next few years in our marriage. But thankfully, me and my son are gone. Narcissists are master gaslighters, manipulators, everything, to the point where they can trap people for a certain amount of time. And I'm grateful that I got out when I did, because I know that people are currently still in them after 20 years or didn't leave after 30 years. And I'm sorry for anyone who has ever had to deal with a narcissist, parent, relationship, friend, whatever.
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? Mara Davidson, I'm back again with another interesting video. Dating a narcissist is a big work. Talkers of getting married to one, and they are good at manipulating you that you are not going to see that trait until you're married them. You can imagine how he's big on submissive when he clearly doesn't even know what he's doing, and just because his wife knows better than him got him very angry. And of course she didn't divorce him immediately, but probably he started showing who he is and she couldn't take it anymore, but she got divorced. I just have 2 reactions on this video, but then let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. Let's go ahead and watch the stitches together, and I'll be back at the end of the stitches to share my own opinion.
This is the first red flag that I got from my narcissistic ex-husband when we first got married.
Go watch that video she actually, there was one little segment in there where she talked about sleeping all the time. And I found it because I was scrolling through the comments and I saw someone else say, mine slept all the time too. I had no idea that was a form of manipulation. Let me tell you, sleeping all the time. Okay. Mine would always just say, oh, I'm a night owl, and I get that. People, they like to stay up, whatever, great. That's you, be you. I'm an early riser typically. Don't really like that about myself, but I like to get up early. Anyway, traditionally how it would work would be he would stay up till 3, 4, 5 a.m. and I would be in bed because I'd have to be up and go to work the next day. He didn't have a normal day job like that. So he'd stay up till, 3, 4, 5 a.m. and then I would go to work. I'd get up, start getting ready for work. He would go to sleep. And then I would get home from work and he'd just be waking up, sometimes 2 p.m., sometimes like 4 p.m. And so really what that meant was after I'm done with work, that really gave us really 2 to 3 hours before I was getting ready for bed, to go to bed. So if we wanted to go out and do anything, go have dinner, anything, spend quality time together, it was that little short window of time, right? So, and then if I had a day off, it was pretty much my day off. I would spend it alone. I would figure out something to do with myself, and that would be it. And I got to a point where I just got exhausted with trying to express, I want to spend time with you, basically, and not getting any reciprocation for that, just because there was never oh, I want to spend time with you. No, that was never clearly stated. It was it was like, oh yeah, well, we'll do this, we'll do that, but it never happened. And again, it was like, oh, well, I was a night owl, I couldn't go to sleep. So the excuse was I couldn't fall asleep, so I just stayed up till 5 a.m. And then I was left there to go, okay, it's my day off, like a weekend or something. Guess I'll go have brunch by myself, right? Which, I don't know, if any of you have been married, you don't really get married to go to brunch by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, anyway, I had no idea either that that was a form of manipulation. I just didn't think about it. I just thought that's his personality. That was a big thing. Throughout the whole thing, I thought, oh, that's just his personality. And now that I'm seeing other people talk about their experiences, I'm like, maybe it was manipulation, because we never spent time together. The time that he was awake and I was awake, it was like, just wasn't anything. I don't know.
When we got married, there was a flip that was switched.
So she says after they were married, a flip switched and the abuse began. And this is actually incredibly common and well documented, and echoed in her comments. We were together for 5 years before we got married. When I tell you the day we got married, the switch flipped, it's just insane. 4 years of dating, no signs, honeymoon, all the red flags. The day I got married, 3 hours into it, I knew I was in trouble. Before that, everything was perfect. And yes, this is well documented, and this is from a domestic violence website. And they say over time, tension starts building. Usually when the abuser feels the victim is sufficiently hooked into the relationship, either through marriage, moving in together, or getting pregnant, the abuse starts. And not only is this well documented, this was also my personal experience. We bought a house together, the mask dropped. Here to scare anybody, I'm just here to inform. Because some abusers are incredibly calculative and can keep up a facade for a pretty long time. And while yes, we have things like how to spot an abuser early on, like if the relationship moves too quickly, sometimes that doesn't always apply. So what I do instead is focus on educating about covert abuse tactics, so we can spot manipulation and covert abuse before it escalates, and it always escalates. Because what happens is, just as a society, but also just us, we're very misinformed and undereducated about what constitutes abuse and what is coercive control and how we spot it. We just might feel like there's something off in the relationship, but not be able to identify it as abuse. So instead, if we focus on more the abuse tactics, we can leave before we're too sufficiently hooked. And that's what she did. Although they just got married, she was like, nope, I'm out of here. Really smart, because otherwise that could be years of hurt.
If you're still here, kindly put your thoughts, your comment, your opinion, your suggestion down in the comment section. All opinions are accepted in this channel if you put them down respectfully. Narcissist partner, I feel like when you're still dating them, when you have not even gotten to know them very well, there are bigger manipulations. They try to hide who they are until you get married to them. So that is why when somebody come and talk about their narcissist husband, and some people say, oh, you didn't choose better, you wouldn't even know if your partner is narcissist until you get married to them, until they see that they've gotten hold of you, like either pregnancy, either you've gotten married, or you are in a committed relationship with it. They can see that, oh, this girl now loves me so much, she can't do without me, or she's pregnant, or we're about to seal the deal with marriage. They tend to show who they are, and that is when you tend to see the kind of person you are. And that is when you see people that are married to narcissist man or men. It's difficult for them to just let go, because most of them are still in denial. It's very difficult to go, because some are even, they have like 2, 3, 4 children with this man, and probably they don't even have money to stay on their own. Like, some can stay in that relationship for 10, 20, 30 years with a narcissist husband. They know that their husbands are narcissists, but it's difficult for them to leave. And my own is that when someone come out and talk about their husband being narcissist or their partner being narcissist, some people are quick to say you didn't choose better. What I'm trying to say is that these people are great in manipulating you. They manipulate you in the way that you're not even going to know that they have that trait of narcissist in them. Just look at the creator, the first creator that talked about her story. This is just Honeymoon. It took a quick switch. You would know that he has been pretending, he has been manipulating her all this while. So it just immediately they got married. They were just on their honeymoon. This is a phase whereby first year, second year of marriage should be like the best years of your marriage, because both of you are still trying, the love is still there, you are still, you know, growing together, you cannot still do without each other and all of that. But when you're already having issues, some people have issues the night of their wedding. Like when I don't mean like just normal quarrel or something, no, serious issue that even outsider can see that, I pity this girl in this marriage. You know, you go to some weddings and you see the way these men are behaving to their wives. If church, we see them online, how this husband behaves to their wife, and you be like, you just pity the wife, like, I don't think this marriage is going to last. You can see it on the wedding day. I feel like when you start seeing this behavior, these men, this is the time they start showing who they are, because they've seen that, okay, now we're married, it's going to be difficult for you to let go of me. Oh, some of them will pretend, not just getting married. After getting married, they'll still pretend to be a very good person until you get pregnant. Then they'll show you who they really are. So imagine her in her honeymoon, now seeing the kind of man she got married to. He's big on submissive. He wants her to be submissive to him because the Bible says so. And it doesn't mean that she wasn't even disrespectful, just like she knows what to do at that point. If he was not a narcissist or whoever I think he is, he should be able to be like, okay, my wife, she knows this, she knows it. And now he tried to, you know, keep quiet, go for a beer and all of that. These are behaviors that I'm just happy to hear that she's no longer in the marriage, because if she still stayed in that marriage, it's kind of behavior that is going to haunt her. She's going to be really sad throughout her married years, and even this can pass on to her children. But she spoke that she has a son and she's no longer with this man, and most of her videos she was just sharing the things, the behavior that she noticed immediately after a marriage with this narcissist man. Let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. What is your take? I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinion, your suggestion in the comment section. And thank you all so much for sticking around to this point. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and kindly turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified when I upload interesting video like this one. And I'll see you all in my next one.